You have to follow your company in the press and stay alert on anything that pops up on the internet. So gladly, you can add your employer's profile and follow them on social media, setting up Google alerts with company name and subscribe to open positions in a Glassdoor, for example, or LinkedIn, and get notified when an employer starts looking for a candidate to replace probably you. 8 signs an employee will be fired from the job soon. If you think you will say goodbye to your job, then probably you have all the reasons to think so. And my HR practice that I gained working for large corporations proved to me that not all employees can clearly understand that their days in the companies they're working for are doomed. Hey guys, it's me Manshuk. Welcome to my channel where I'm sharing my vision and thoughts on this crazy job market and how to get the maximum from your job. If you like this video, please don't forget to like it because it means a lot to me. No matter what is your position, this is how our brain works. When a person is under constant stress and pressure trying to become a better employee and focusing on saving a doomed job, a stressed and anxious mindset can impact the way we humans view the world in profound ways, and sometimes very obvious things that gonna happen to us remain unnoticed. According to the last statistics presented by BLS in March 2021, around 5,300,000 US employees quit their jobs in March only. And if to believe those stats, this number slightly changes from month to month and even year to date. The accurate reasons for people quitting their jobs are hard to register because there are no public records that track the exact reasons for separation. Layoffs, staff reduction, downsizing, furlough, terminations, etc. are all the terms referring to companies who change business tactics or strategies to reduce the staff as a result. From my HR practice, I would guess the healthy turnover would look like something between 5 to 7% annually when employees leave their jobs to change something in their professional lives, and that would be kind of a healthy turnover. Layoffs would constitute something like 1 to 2% of the workforce. Voluntary resignation would be around from 4 to 6%, and just 1.5 of the workforce would be fired. It doesn't matter if you fall for these numbers or not. It's great to know what are the signs of employees that would be fired from their work soon. So sign number 1 that an employee is going to lose their job soon is when the company is struggling. The most obvious and face-saving reason is that the company is not doing well and they struggle on the market. So depending on your position and if you have credible insiders whispering in your ear of what to expect in terms of your job perspective, is that the company has poor financial standing, losing clients, or being grilled in the press, and now their brand name has suffered. Also, if mergers and acquisitions happen and announced and you feel like you are not a star performer, then the earlier you start looking for another job, the better for you. I'm not personally convinced with the top management ensuring and calming down its employees that they will try to do their best to save the jobs and other blah blah blah, but whenever an employee can be replaced, he or she will be replaced, and the top management will never deal with an employee status in the company. Your manager will, who of course will prove that you are not the best and productive as they expect you to be. You have to follow your company in the press and stay alert on anything that pops up on the internet. So gladly, you can add your employer's profile and follow them on social media, setting up Google alerts with company name and subscribe to open positions in a Glassdoor, for example, or LinkedIn, and get notified when an employer starts looking for a candidate to replace probably you. So the second sign an employee would lose their job would be when the workload is gradually decreasing and one day an employee notices there is no work to do. If your current projects are being closed or given to someone else, if you are not assigned new prospective projects, even if you expressed your willingness to add up something to your plate, take more clients or anything to increase your workload, if someone suddenly starts to job shadow you and you start knowledge transferred to another employee without clear given reasons behind that, then probably your manager wants to arrange a smooth process of your termination without losing work quality. In some cultures, employees would reject sharing knowledge with others until they are assured they will have another position lined up for them. So they will find every excuse not to start their knowledge transfer to another employee by any means until they finally talk to their manager and find out why they are job shadowing. So if your employer has a lot of work and you notice that your colleagues have better projects and work on something new, but you struggle to keep yourself busy and try not to check your social media every 10 minutes, then probably it will not end good for you. But my advice to you, just don't look for another job while being at work, because someone will notice it and this situation may escalate further and faster for you. The third sign that an employee would lose their job soon is when the projects they're working on are being closed and not renewed, and that happens quite quickly. Sometimes an employer needs to fire an employee quickly, therefore managers have to wrap up projects and request an employee to complete as much as possible, and all the deadlines for project closures are pretty close to each other. For example, if it's a summertime, your employer asks you to complete everything possible before vacation starts, and most employees will take vacations, but in reality your employer wants to get rid of you before everyone goes for vacation and avoids asking you to cover someone who is on vacation. If that's the situation, the manager would rather redistribute the work among other colleagues than involve you in someone else's projects. And if that happens, that's a very clear sign that they don't want to rely on that employee anymore. Sign number 4 that an employee would lose their job or be fired is when relationship deteriorate, either between the manager or even between the colleagues. A lot of statistics show that employees look for another job because of the poor relationship with the management. Maybe you used to get along with your boss, but now you can't communicate even about basic things. Or maybe your boss is daily playing the blame game and you are put under circumstances of constantly apologizing for every minor mistake. Or even a worse sign, that when an employee sends an email to their boss with a question or help request and that manager keeps ignoring the employee, or answer the employer by copying several colleagues in that reply, that's a very bad sign, especially if higher level employees are being involved in that communication. So whatever the reason, if the boss doesn't seem to be on your side, or if you receive a warning about your poor performance, it might be the time to start updating your CV immediately. Sign number 5 that an employee is going to be fired soon is when an employee is alienated from the rest of the teams. If in the past you used to share some working moments with your colleagues, with your manager, and you had a lot of friends at work, but one day you feel there is no one to talk to and there are no smiles, internal vibes are not welcoming anymore. You can sense that when you operate in a new non-supportive environment. It's probably the time you start looking for another job. Sign number 6 is when an employee's performance is being always criticized on paper, and it becomes very frequent, especially when the annual performance evaluation is coming. Or even worse, when an employee is given a performance improvement plan. It's really horrible situation, and because an employee is put under radar of the whole team, of the manager and HR for sure. If you are given the performance improvement plan with whatever the deadline is, start looking for another job as soon as possible, because the only reason an employee is put under that performance improvement plan is to avoid legal battles. So during that process, an employee would be given certain tasks and deadlines, and if something is not met, and if it's not a Boxing Day, you are working after Christmas, you will go home with a big box of personal stuff soon. Personally, it's a draining process for employee, for the manager, and for HR for sure. I know this because I have seen a lot of terminations. A lot of employees quit voluntarily, and some of employees were put under employee performance plan, and it very rarely it ended well for the employee. Number 8 is when an employee will be terminated immediately in case of professional misconduct such as attendance issues, insubordination, sexual harassment, physical violence, performance issues, of course, misrepresentation of information, and of course, breaching companies' policies. These things can immediately bring to employees termination, and all those terms should be listed in your contract. And if you feel something unhealthy going on at your workplace, you should refer to your contract terms first. So my 2 cents as an HR: bad performance reviews, bad relationship, a decrease of individual workload, job shadowing all of a sudden, documenting everything concerning your work, that all signals that you should start looking for a job immediately. Do you remember those stats that I presented you in the beginning of this video, right? 5,300,000 people in March 2021 quit their jobs for different reasons. So whatever causes you to change the job, whether it's your own will or not, treat it like a job. It's a place, it's an environment that allows you to perform. So I just want to cheer you up and tell you this: don't blame yourself for whatever reason is happening at your workplace. Working successfully, meeting expectations, and continuously improving work processes sometimes is not under your sole control. If this is the place that is not contributing to your physical or mental well-being, hey, it's not worth it. Find another place to be. The job market is getting active again after the pandemic, after the COVID, and there are millions of jobs added daily. Unless you have very bold reasons to fight for that very job, then I'll tell you, like your real secret HR friend, in 99% of cases, it's not worth fighting for. It's not worth your bad mood. It's not worth lowering your self-esteem and struggling with depression. Just move on, forget about it. Make sure you get good references from whatever colleagues you're working with, your clients, your boss maybe, and avoid termination. Start looking for a job, update your CV, and be updated on what's going on in this job market. Also try to ask to be laid off instead of being terminated. If that's not possible, it's still not the end of the world. And if someone is constantly being fired for identical reasons and cannot keep the job for a longer time, it's worth analyzing why it's happening, and you have to change something. Maybe it's an attitude. If that's not the job you dream about, working without getting paid, maybe it's time you would find a better job that is right for you. I'm really sorry for anyone who found themselves in that unpleasant situation. I wish you good luck in everything, and just stay connected and press the like button, subscribe to my channel, ask me questions, and I will be happy to answer them. Take care. Bye.